When the 2.0 update and the Happy in Paradise DLC dropped in November 2021, there were a lot of problems. Like this particular problem. Yeah, this happened. It was so much that they actually had to address this with 5 separate update patches to make sure everything was fixed. But once we reached version 2.0.5 in February of this year, Nintendo seemed to stop. Now of course this does make sense, as Nintendo promised that they wouldn't be giving us any new major content updates. But it seems like at one point Nintendo may have actually intended to go beyond 2.0.5 all the way up to 2.1. In a data mine of one of these patches by Asteration, it was discovered that internally it was marked as 2.1.0. Now jumping from 2.0 to 2.1 would have definitely meant a content update. They don't really do this for minor patches, that's why we went up to version 2.0.5 rather than 2.1. However, there may have actually been a good reason for them to jump to 2.1. After all, in the update patch that happened in December, Nintendo did actually add in some new content. For a start, they added several new Zodiac items to complete the set throughout all of the upcoming years. They also added the ability for gyroid fragments to spawn on your beach, which was a new feature at that point. Nothing crazy of course, but this was new content, and in my opinion it was fairly comparable to some of the really minor updates that we got before we reached 2.0. But for some reason this update didn't become version 2.1, instead it became 2.0.4, and the next one didn't either, it became 2.0.5, which we are currently on as of me making this video. So why did Nintendo not make the jump to 2.1 and release that as an update? Well, I think there's a few explanations as to why Nintendo may have done this that are honestly pretty likely. For a start, making the jump to version 2.1 could have given the illusion that there was a pretty major new content update and maybe even more new content coming in the future. Whilst yes, it is true, like I said, there was new content in version 2.0.4, it definitely wasn't enough to constitute a whole new version number after 2.0, especially when they confirmed no more major updates. I also have my own theory that Nintendo probably wanted to leave things on version 2.0.5 just as it's kind of a nice round off point without jumping to 2.1. I'm honestly sure that if they could have gotten away with it, Nintendo would have probably left things off at 2.0, but there were just too many issues with the update. There are still some issues and bugs within the game, but it feels like Nintendo just wants to keep it capped off at 2.0.5 rather than giving us 6. Still, if we want to be technical, version 2.1 did really exist, at least internally within the game, and I think that makes a lot of sense given that update did introduce a new feature and some new items as well. But let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. Do you think Nintendo could ever release another update patch? Of course, I'm not referring to a new content update, but maybe could Nintendo address some of the other issues and glitches that are still in the game? If you made it to the end, be sure to comment Bob's Gang down below so I know you did. If you enjoyed, be sure to leave a like, and if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe and turn on channel notifications for more.